Okay, so good morning. Let's start the first unit. So object-oriented programming. Okay. See, in this object-oriented programming, okay, we'll mostly work on the objects, okay, rather than on the data. In procedure programming language, what happens? We concentrate on the function part, okay, or uh, mostly on the code, okay. But here in this object oriented programming, we are mostly deal with the real world scenario, okay, or the real world operations, okay.
Okay.
So instead of means, so that is the reason you will see that this is an object, this is an object, and this is the another object, okay. And this object will have our data as well as the function. Is it clear to you all?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now before I explain all these things, I'll just annotate and I'll just explain you all. Okay. uh, if you want, you can like take a note of this also. Like suppose this, okay, so this is a class. Okay. Now this class will have a three part. Okay. Now this class has got three part. So first part is known as, okay, I'll just write it out here. Class name. So this is the class name. Next is data member. And the third part, you'll see there is a member function. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
No. So this is a class. Okay. This is a diagram of a class. And the first part will be the class name. Second part, there will be a data member. And the last one, there will be a member function. So class can be of student. Okay. Student. So this is a student class. So what can be the data member of this class? Like roll number. Next, there can be a name. Then there can be an age, or there can be an address. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now roll number can be integer. Your name will be of character. Okay. Your age will be of an integer. Your address will be of
Character.
character. Now till here, is there any problem?
No,
Have you
sir. No.
understood?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Sorry. Now there can be function, okay? Like function means pay, okay? This is the function like return type, okay?
Yes, sir.
Pay semester fee, okay? Now instead of writing that means return type, I can simply write like this also, okay? Like student are going to pay the semester fee, student will pay hostel fee. Now student is going to pay uh, bus fee, and student is going to pay exam fee. Is it clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a class, and this is the diagram of a class, okay? And this diagram of a class has been divided into three parts. One is the student part, okay? Then that is the class name. Then the another part is for the data member, where all like student roll number, all the data types are has been stored, okay? Like student roll number, student name, student age, student address, okay? And this is the third part where it is defined for this member function, okay? Now here you'll see that student is going to pay the semester fees, student is going to pay the hostel fee, student is going to pay the bus fee as well as the exam fee. Till here, is it clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Now you just make this diagram, okay? Now which one? This student class diagram, okay? You just draw this diagram. Have you finished? Hello.
Sir.
Have you finished drawing?
No, sir. I'm drawing, sir.
Okay. So this diagram is very important, okay? This class diagram. This diagram is known as a class diagram. You
Okay, sir.
just write down class diagram, and this class diagram has got three parts. First is reserved for the class name, second is reserved for the data member, and the third one is reserved for the member function, okay?
Hmm.
And this is an example of a student class.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just tell me once you have finished.
Sir, just 1 minute.
Mhm.
Sir, completed.
Okay, Tenzing. Okay, now so this is the student class. You are a student, okay? Now suppose I just want to create an object, okay? So I can create a student object, that is the student 1 and the student 2, like that, okay?
Sir.
Now Just see this diagram, you'll see that there is a data as well as the function. Okay, so this is the data member or the data part, and this is the function, means the method part. Okay, this method function are all same. Okay, so this object, okay, so
Yes,
it
sir.
can be the student one. So what will be the data? Data means the student one roll number will be like suppose 10001, its name will be Pranay, its age may be like 18 or 19. Okay, and its address may be Siliguri, like that. Is it clear
Yes,
to you all?
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so similarly this object, okay, this is an object 2 or this is the second object. Now this objects what data will be, like roll number will be the next one. Okay, a name will be Tenzing, age may be 19 or 18, and address may be like Darjeeling. Okay, so have you understood this class diagram and this object diagram?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so in this class diagram it is divided into two part, and this object diagram you'll see that it is, there are two part, one is of data and the another one is the function. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So so object oriented programming, like object have both data as well as the method. Okay. Now object of the same class have the same data element and methods. Like Pranay is an object, Tenzing is an object. Okay. Same data members. Okay. Pranay is also having this roll number, name field. Okay. Age field as well as address field. Pranay is also paying the bus fees, semester fees, exam fees. Okay. And Tenzing is also. So that is what it's saying, that object of the same class have the same data element and the methods. Now object sends and receive message to invoke action. Okay. In the previous diagram also you have seen this, that an object has got a link or it has got a connection between each other. Okay, like Tenzing is sending or like giving a money, okay, to Pranay. Okay, so an object may send like message passing. Okay, so an object can send and receive messages, okay, to invoke some actions. Next, what is an object? An object is an instance of a class. Now, do you understand this line?
No, sir.
No?
No.
So first what we did, we have created this student class.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now after creating this student class, what we did, we have created an student object. Yes. We have created the student object. So that is known as an instance. Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
We have created an object. So object means what? Object is an instance of a class. So what is the class name? Class name was student, and what is the object or the instance was object one. Okay. And what was the data? Data was Pranay, age, like age was 18, address was Siliguri, and it was having a roll number. Okay. And the functions, what were the functions of that object? That that object was paying bus fees, semester fees,
Yes, sir. Yes,
exam
sir.
fees. Okay, so now this line is clear. Have you understood about this object? So what is an object? Object is basically an instance of a class. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Method, an action performed by an object.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What this object is going to do? This object will pay the bus fees. This object is going to pay the semester fees. The object is going to pay hostel fees, okay, or the exam fees. Now, what are the attributes? Attributes means the description of an object. So, what was the object's attribute out here in the student? The roll number was an attribute. Is it clear? Can you tell me
Yes,
the
sir.
other attributes? See, roll number is a one attribute. What are the other attributes?
Sir, age.
Okay, Tenzing.
Yes, sir.
What are the other attributes of this object student?
Serial number.
Yes, roll number, age, and address. Okay, so those are the attributes. Okay. Okay, attributes means the description of the object in a class. And what is the class? A category of similar object. Okay, like this object student. Okay, so student may be a class. Your uh, like car may be a class. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now this class does not hold any values of the object attribute. So class is not storing any values. Okay. Class is just defining it. But who is holding? The object is holding. Okay. Object one has got some roll number.
Yes, sir.
Object one has got its name, that is the pronoun. Object one has got its age and address. Okay. But
Yes.
what is a class? Class is basically an abstract thing. Okay. We are
Mhm.
creating an object, or we are creating an instance of a class, then that is known as an object. An object will store the data member, as well as it will perform some operations, that is uh, known as the method. Okay. So is this slide clear to you all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there is declared inside a class a private to all to that class. Means what? There are something called a access specifier. Okay. Now what are the different types of access specifier? One is the private, the one another one is the protected. Okay. And the third one is public. Is it clear? One is private, the
Yes,
another
sir.
in the previous class. Okay, in the previous diagram, that is the class diagram. Just take out your copy and see. I have drawn a class diagram, that is the student class, and under that student class the data member was roll number, name, age, and address. Okay. Now those data members can have this access or visibility. Okay, that it can be a private, it can be public, it can be a protected one. Okay. So similarly your method can also be like that. Okay. So what does it says? That by default all members that is been declared inside a class are private to that class. Okay. Another class cannot access those data member as well as the member function. Okay, next is the structure of a C++ program. So in a C++ program, there is an header file that you are familiar with the C programming. So you know that hash include iostream.h will be there. Okay, it's an input and output header file. Okay. Next, you have to define the class declaration if you are writing any C++ program or object-oriented programming language. I mean, programming concept you are going to implement. Then the second part will be your class declaration. Third will be your member function definition, and then there will be a main function. You just noted down these things in your copy. So this is basically the structure of a C++ program. Finished noting down?
No, sir.
Okay.
Wait, sir. Wait.
Mm.
Done, sir.
Okay, okay. Pranay?
Yes, sir. Done. Sir, complete, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I just explained you all that when I was discussing your syllabus, I told you the features of OOPS. So just note it down. So these are basically the features of OOPS. Okay. First is the class. I explained you all about the class. I explained and I have gave you an example of a student class. Okay. I have explained you all about an object. So there is an object one. Object is having a data plus member function. So the data members I have explained about the class about this object that roll number, name may be Pranay, name may be Tenzing, and these objects are having its own data. Okay. Next, something called an encapsulation. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, data encapsulation means just now I have explained you all about the visibility control. Okay. I explained you all about the uh, like access specifier, that is public, private, and protected. Okay. So that is known as encapsulation. Encapsulation's definition is wrapping up of the data member and member function into a single unit is known as data encapsulation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
In this class you'll see that there is a data member as well as the member function, so those things are encapsulated in the class. Okay, so that is known as the data encapsulation. Wrapping up of the data member, wrapping means what? You are
Wrapping
eating
means.
that chocolate,
Uh,
you have seen that eclairs chocolate is there.
Yes, sir.
So that eclairs chocolate is been wrapped.
So
Yes,
the cover.
yes. So that chocolate is been wrapped in a wrapper. Okay, so you can't see what is there inside that wrapper. Okay, until and unless you open it, whether the same size different thing which is not a chocolate, if I wrap it and if I give it to you, you will unable to recognize that. Okay, whether it's a chocolate or something else. Why? The reason is it has been wrapped. Okay, so that is known as an encapsulation. Okay, encapsulation means wrapping up of the data member and member function into a single unit is known as data encapsulation. So what is that in single unit? That is, it has been wrapped into a class. Okay, is it clear?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now data abstraction. Data abstraction means hiding the essential features. Okay, okay. You are using it, but without declaring the essential features. Like if you want to watch a television, okay, you don't need to know how the power supply is being done, or how the channel is being sorted, or like how this CRT is being lighted. Okay, or how you are going to see how the motherboard is working and all those things. Okay, or the LED. You don't need to know In case of LED, you'll see that there is a board. Okay, so how it is working, you are not interested in all those things. What you are interested in, that you just if you want to watch television, you just switch on the power button. Okay, and then you'll start the remote, okay, by pressing the power button, and you want that your television should work. Okay, that is what you want. So data abstraction means, okay, that using the essential features without its implementation. Okay, so what is an abstraction? Abstraction refers to the act of representing the essential features without including the background details or explanation. Okay, we are using those things, but we don't want to know about the background details. Okay, so data abstraction means act of representing the essential features without including the background details or explanation is known as the data abstraction. Next is an inheritance. Okay, inheritance is a process by which an object from one class will acquire the properties, okay, of an object of another class. What do you mean by that? You'll see, or you are having a grandparents, you'll see that grandparents facial structure or grandparents height. Okay, you'll see that your parents will also inherit those things. Okay, whether from mother or father or from both of them. Okay, you will see that your parents has also been inherited the properties. Okay, the facial structure, you'll see the color and all those things, you'll see. Okay, and similarly you have also been inherited from your parents. Okay, go to the next room. Okay, so you have also inherited, you will see that the features that is there in your grandparents, or the features that was there in your parents, the same features is there within you also. Okay, as well as you are having some additional properties. Okay, so that is known as an inheritance. Okay, inheriting the properties from the higher class. See, your parents has inherited the properties of your grandparents. Okay, and you have also inherited the properties from your parents, which indirectly inherited, which directly inherited from their parents, which you are indirectly inheriting. Okay, so that is known as an inheritance. Next is a polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism means an ability to make or to take more than one form. Okay, what is the meaning of polymorphism? It's an ability to take more than one form. So I just
Mm-hmm.
as I told you all, like there may be a three or four functions which will do this addition. Okay, but how we are going to differentiate? Like suppose in my class, if there are four Saurav. Okay, you know this name Saurav and Gaurav are very common. Amit
Yes, sir.
is very common. So there may be four Saurav in my class. So how I'm going to say, if I call Saurav, then all four are going to respond. Okay. So when they are going to respond, there may be an ambiguity. Okay. So in order, if I say Saurav roll number 10, then that particular person is going to respond. If if I call the Saurav roll number 23, then roll number 23, that person is going to respond. Okay, but if I say, or if I call Saurav, come here, then all four person is going to come, or they may think like sir might be called the other Saurav, not mine. Okay, so here in this case, in case of polymorphism, how we are going to identify those things, or how we are going to differentiate? That is its signature. Okay, like this function will have its return type. Function name is going to be the same, but okay, I'll just annotate and just write down. show you. But here the properties may be the different. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, void head
Mm,
int comma int. So this is a function. This is the another function, void add int comma int comma int, void add. You just see that all three methods are having the same name. Okay, but its signature is different. Okay, now this is the return type. It may be same or it may be different. Okay, it may be like it is returning something, so I can write it out here int. Okay, that I can do. But see, just the name are all same. Okay, but what makes it different is the return type. Okay, or the number of arguments. Okay, so it means the signature. So what are known as the signature? This return type is known as a signature, as well as this number of arguments and the type of argument is also known as the signature. Is it clear to you all?
yes, sir.
Okay, so polymorphism you have understood, and this is known as the dynamic binding. Okay, next is the dynamic binding and the message passing. Now, these two things I'll be explaining during this course. Okay, now if I explain this, you understand. Okay, now what are the benefits of OOPS? Okay, see, the first benefit is OOPS. OOPS means object oriented programming. It offers better implementation. The program that we are used to do in this structured programming is here it is totally different. Okay, next you will provide the data security. How you are going to provide the data security? I explained you all about the data encapsulation, and during this data encapsulation I have explained you all about the data visibility control or the access specifier, that there are public, private and protected. Okay, so these are the access specifier. So through this access specifier what we can do, we can provide a better security to this data. Okay, as well as the code reusability. See, I have created only one student class, but out of this, like suppose in a class there may be a 50 students, so I can declare a 50 object of that student class. Now somewhere like in your class there are two students. Okay, so I have created a student. Okay, and I have created two objects. One is a tenzing and the another one is a pronoun. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so every
Yes, sir.
time you don't need to create an.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So you just define it once and you just use it, okay, a number of times. So that is it's known as this code reusability. Okay, and this object oriented programming offers more flexibility. Okay, the programs are much more easier to write. It's much more easier to modify. Okay, now if I suppose if I change anything in my class, in a student class, so it may get affected in this object also. Okay, or the types may get affected, so like that. Now user defined data types can be easily constructed. The thing is that you can create your own data type, that is the student type. Okay, see, the student is a type which is not a predefined one. Okay, have you you know about this data type, this character, integer, float. Okay, so this student is a type which has been created by me. Okay, so you can create your own data type. So that is what it says, that user defined data types can be easily constructed. Next, class in C++, I have shown you the diagram. Now here we'll see the structure, how we are going to write this things. Okay, so a class definition begins with the keyword class. So always whenever you are defining a class, okay, that student class, if you are going to implement that, you have to write the keyword class. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the first thing, that this class always you have to write if you are going to implement a class. Okay. If you are going to write a class, then you have to write this keyword. Then the name of the class. What was the name of the class in our case? It was the student class. So I'll
Yes.
just write class space student. Is it clear?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You just note it down in your copy. Then you have to use this curly braces. Okay, and inside curly braces you have to write those things, that int roll number, okay, or the roll number integer, like those things. Okay, and then there will be member function, like pay, hostel fee, bus fee, semester fees. Okay, so this diagram says that any valid identifier, okay, it can be an any valid identifier, and this is the body of the class. Okay, and this body of the class will have two things. One is the data member as well as the member function. So this slide is clear to you all. Is there any problem, or if
No,
you
sir.
want to ask any question, you can ask. Okay, now this is an example of a class. Okay, this is the class example. Okay, now this class example shows how we can encapsulate. Okay, encapsulation, what is the encapsulation definition was that wrapping up of the data member and wrapping up of the data. See, this is the data member part. Okay, so we have wrapped all these things, wrapping up of the data member as well as the member function into a single unit, that is the circle. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now gathered a circle information into one package, or that is the class. Okay, so this is the data member, that is the radius, and these are the member function, that is the void radius, set radius, get diameter, get area, and get circumference. So what we are going to do, we are going to use this data member in order to perform these operations. Okay. Now these are the methods, and these methods will have its own implementation, but it's going to work on this data member only. Okay. Just remember the previous slides. Okay. Now, no need for other classes to access and retrieve its value directly. The class methods are responsible for that only. So who is going to interact or who is going to modify this data member? So no one from outside this class. That means outside these curly braces. This is the opening or the starting curly braces. This is the end curly braces. That is the reason there is a semicolon. Okay, this is the class definition. So outside this class, no one is allowed to use this variable radius. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. That is what it is written, that no need for other classes to access and retrieve its value directly. The class methods are responsible for that only. And these are the methods. Okay. They are accessible from outside the class, and they can access the member. Okay. That is the radius. Now this, see, the visibility control out here is a public, and here the visibility control is a private. Okay, that means no one can access is will able to access this radius. Okay, now who can access this? Now this methods can access. Okay, only the data member function of a class can modify the data member. Okay, now since this member function has been defined public, so this the member function can be accessible from outside the another class. Okay, outside this class. That is what it is written out here, that they are accessible from outside the class and they can access the data member. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is
Yes,
an
sir.
okay. Now this is a class.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I think you should copy this. If you don't copy this, then you won't be able to understand. At least you copy this program.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir.
First you see. I'll just explain. Then I'll just copy. Okay, so this is the class. You are familiar with this class. In the previous slide, also explained this that private it's a radius. Okay, its type is a double. Okay, and it's a private. That means outside this class, it's not nobody is allowed to uh, access it. Okay, but it can be accessible within these methods. Okay, so what is this class? This circle. See what is the class name? Class name is circle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now class name is circle and this method name is also circle.
Hmm.
Now what is it?
Sir,
How
what
can
is
it?
double radius?
Huh?
Double radius, double radius.
Double is a data type. You know there is an integer data type.
Ah,
There is a character data type. So this is the double data type. Now what is the purpose of this double data type? It can store more numbers than your integer. Okay, that is the as well as it is going to store the floating point variable. Okay, that
yes,
is
sir.
the means the decimal one. That is the reason we have means this double is all about. Okay, now circle, you just see the class name is circle out here
Hmm.
and this method name is also circle. What is it? This is a constructor. Okay,
Okay, okay, sir.
okay, just a minute. So this is a constructor. Okay, so this is the default constructor and this is the parameterized constructor. Okay. See, here also there is a circle.
Yes, sir.
So this is a default constructor. That is the reason the radius value is zero point 0. Okay. And this is the parameterized constructor. That means the value can be set. Okay. And a parameter is also been provided out here. And then there are some variable, some methods. Okay. Like void set radius double. Okay. And then get diameter and then get area. Okay.
Hmm.
Now you'll see that here there is no semicolon. That means what? This method has been defined out here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Here also you'll see that it has also been defined. Okay. Get
Hmm.
diameter means what? It will return radius into 2. Okay. That radius square.
Okay, sir.
Next, there are two method. One is the gate area, then gate circumference. Okay. As well as there is a parameterized constructor. Now, its definition is not been provided out here. That is the reason you'll see that there is a semicolon. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, this method has been defined outside the class. Okay, you'll see this is a, as I told you all that this is a parameterized constructor. Okay, now
Okay,
how can you identify? Now nobody has told me that this is a constructor. How did I identify that this is a constructor? Because the class name and this method name is same. Okay,
okay, sir.
then nobody has told me that this is a default constructor and this is a parameterized constructor. Then how did I identify that this is a uh, default constructor and this is an parameterized constructor? The thing is that this default constructor takes no arguments and it sets 0 to its data member. Is it clear? that makes it default constructor, and parameterized constructor, that some uh, parameters has been there. Okay, that is the reason, and its name and the class name is same. Okay, so this is a parameterized constructor. Now just see here, and I also told you all about the scope resolution operator. This colon, double colon means the scope resolution operator. So what is the purpose of the scope resolution operator? See, whenever I define any method outside this class, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
That time I have to use the scope resolution operator. Now, there might be a question in your mind that can I declare all the methods using the scope resolution operator outside a class? No. The reason is this method has been defined as a public. Now,
Okay.
since this method has been defined as a public, these methods,
Okay.
and the implementation is not out here, that means what? That implementation will be there, but it is outside this class. That is the reason, since we have declared it outside, we have used this scope resolution operator. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, means the scope resolution operator is not required if you declare this inside this class. If you
Hmm.
are, see here, this circle. Okay,
Okay, sir.
each and every function, you know that it
Your
will
voice
start.
is
Yes,
crack.
yes,
Your voice
Tenzin.
is cracking.
Okay, okay,
So voice crack.
okay, okay. Pranay, শুনতে পাচ্ছ?
Yes, yes, yes. That's
Okay. See, in this method, okay, or any method, it will always start with the curly braces and it will end with the curly braces. Okay. So, okay. So this method also, you see that it start with the curly braces and ends with the curly braces. Okay. So if you are writing this inside this class, then no need to add this scope resolution operator. Now what this scope resolution operator says, see, left hand side of the scope resolution operator is the class. Is it clear?
yes, sir.
Okay. And so here, okay. So this is the parameterized constructor. Okay. Now next is the another method that has been declared outside, that is the gate area. Okay. So we have written out here the double class. Okay. And gate area. So what is this double is the data type. Okay. So first you need to write the data type out here, but we have not written any data type out here. Okay. It is not required in case of constructor. Okay, but here this is a method. Okay, and this method has been declared outside the class. So that is the reason this scope resolution operator has been used. Okay, and this is the data type. Okay, that this method is going to return what? Double type of data, and this is the class. Okay, which where it belongs, and this is the method of that class. Okay, see here, this is the get area method. Okay, see, this is the get area method. Its type was double. So first you need to define the data type, and it belongs to which class? It belongs to a circle class. So the circle class has been written out here. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. আজকে এত দূর ছাড়বো এখন নাকি আরো পড়াবো বলো?
Sir, ছেড়ে দিন।
ওকে, ওকে। কারণ বেশি পড়িয়ে দিলে আবার মাথায় কিছু
হ্যাঁ,
ঢুকবে
হ্যাঁ,
না।
হ্যাঁ।